Welcome to another episode of Pels in the Blender. It's your boy A. Davis. Coming up, man. Come to get y'all an episode about our guy Jordan Hawkins. First off, like, subscribe, share the page. Again, I want to show love to everybody that's been tuning in, subscribing, sharing, and everything. All of the guests that we didn't have: Pro Pels, Grub, uh, Chris, Chaz, Lido, my boy Five, Sip, Chrissy, everybody that's been showing love to the show, man. Appreciate y'all. And anybody, my boy Mike, anybody that's been on, been on the show. And again, we're gonna keep having guests. We're gonna bring those guys back, we're gonna bring those people back. So we're gonna keep this thing going and growing. Oh, that sounded a little crazy. Pause. I'm sorry. But this episode, I want to come to y'all. I want to talk about our guy Jordan Hawkins. So with everything going on in the offseason right now, the reason that I'm picking Jordan Hawkins to kind of have this conversation about right now is because we've already somewhat established what the starting lineup should look like. And we've also sort of established who on the bench that I don't want to say it will be somewhat reliable, because the bench is where we have some of our questions, right? So you have Sadiq Bey, who's, somewhat proven. You kind of know what you'll get from Sadiq Bey, for better or worse, if he's healthy. Jose, for better or worse, is proven. You know exactly what you're going to get from Jose in a limited capacity. We don't know. We have questions about Carlo, to a degree, Carlo. We have questions about Queen and Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. We don't know who's going to be the starter necessarily out of Missy and Looney. So whichever one of those, though, whoever comes off the bench is going to be, what they're going to give you. Hopefully you can get, like with Looney, you're going to get a defensive presence, a guy that sets solid screens. You know what I mean? Just a real solid presence. I'm not going to go too much into that because this episode is about Hawkins. Now, Hawkins, I think, is the guy that, based on the potential that he showed early on, I'm talking like when we first drafted him. And if you go back and look at the beginning of last season, Jordan Hawkins got off to a really good start. He had a really good preseason. When they were in camp, everybody was saying he was one of the bright spots in camp. He was shooting the lights out. And when the season started, he was, looking solid. Like he had took a second-year leap. Obviously, he injured the back and then wasn't really the same throughout the season. It was a bunch of inconsistencies. So I really kind of want to see if Hawkins going into year 3 can take a leap with this particular team, because to be honest, I think Hawkins is in a more beneficial situation than he's been in almost any other season, because this particular team and the way that it's constructed, it kind of helps not put Hawkins in a situation where you have to emphasize his weaknesses. Now, obviously, you want Hawkins to work on his game. The ball handling is clearly something that he needs to improve on. He took some stuff defensively, but he's still a smaller frame player. So it's only so much he's going to be able to do defensively. But, respectfully, you didn't bring him in to be a defensive stopper anyway. You brought him in to space the court, shoot the ball, give him some, give the team some off-ball movement shooting, some clutch spot-up shooting, to be another floor spacer that teams actually respect. Now, if you watch teams when they actually play the Pelicans, whatever you say about, like, here's an example. Teams will actually let Herb Jones shoot in the corner. And Herb Jones actually shot well from the corner, but they don't believe in the shot. Jordan Hawkins, even though he's been inconsistent, he has the reputation of a shooter. So you see people like trying to run Jordan Hawkins off the line. Like, it's not like they're just sitting out there, waving him off and walking away from him and stuff like that. So he has to be more consistent with his shot. But if you look at the situations that Hawkins is in, like, he can absolutely thrive more, in my opinion, than this particular season. One, because he's coming into year 3, but realistically, his responsibilities should be nothing but catch and shoot and off-ball shooting and stuff like that, especially with the amount of ball handlers and creators that you have on the team. Like, if you bring Jordan Hawkins in, or like when Jordan Hawkins is on the floor, there should be at no point should he be the primary ball handler. So you got to imagine that he's going to be on the floor with players like Jordan Poole, can handle the ball, create shots for him. Trey Murphy has improved in creating shots, creating shots for other people, getting into the paint, driving and kick, drawing doubles and stuff. And if he takes the steps that we think he's going to take, he's going to garner a lot more attention defensively, which allows the spacing for Jordan Hawkins when he is on the floor. Obviously, Zion is a great creator for his teammates and stuff like that. So realistically, all Jordan Hawkins has to do in this situation, and I think this particular team is more tailor-made, because even the players off the bench, if he's on the floor with a Derek Queen can create. Jose, when he's on the floor with Jose does most of the ball handling. Jeremiah Fears to do most of the ball handling when he's in the game. So like realistically, you shouldn't have, and like they might have moments where you have to put it on the floor a little bit, but realistically, you're not asking Jordan Hawkins to create. All you really need Jordan Hawkins to do is do what you were drafted for and knock down shots. Like create space and knock down shots. The most disappointing thing to me with Hawkins sometimes is he'll go on, like he's definitely a microwave in my opinion, where if he hits one or two, like he's one of those guys that could really, hit you for 18, 24 quick. Like, he'll hit 3-4 threes in a row. And then before you know it, in a couple minutes, he'll have 15 to 18 points off the bench. At the same time, he can miss 2 or 3 and then be, 0 for 6, something like that. The 0 for 6 stuff, and as a shooter, it comes and goes. Don't get me wrong. But he has to be more consistent of a shooter. If he can be more consistent of a shooter, I think you'll see Jordan Hawkins take, like, not necessarily saying he'll take a leap and being like I don't want to say like a star player or nothing like that, but can he be a solid role player, like a solid contributor to the team? Absolutely. If you look at some of the plays that he makes, he's relatively athletic. He gets back, he makes blocks. He's not bad. He's not a bad rebounding guard. Like if you look at not necessarily his numbers, but because he only averages about 2.5 rebounds a game, and he only plays around, roughly 20 minutes anyway. So that's not what he's in the game for. But when he's on the floor, he rebounds okay. He tries to block shots. You see him attack the rim and like he can catch a lob or he can dunk and stuff like that. His main problem obviously is handling the ball, attacking the rim strong and stuff like that, finishing at the rim, which are some things that hopefully he worked on. But more than anything, if he can just do what he was drafted for and knock down shots, then you'll see Jordan Hawkins have a lot more value in this season. So the thing that I really wanted to do, I wanted to show some of the film on Jordan Hawkins so we could really get an idea of what it is that he needs to do and what kind of shots that Jordan Hawkins is looking at, you know what I mean, most of the time that he's on the floor. So like, you got to understand, Jordan Hawkins shoots a lot of open shots. And one of the things that I think he gets in trouble with is he because he's confident as a shooter, he can find himself shooting some tough shots that he may not necessarily need to. But again, if you can just knock down the shots that you're supposed to knock down, get yourself to about a 40% 3-point shooter, high 38 to 40%, like you'll create value for yourself and for the team. And again, if they think about, because right now I think we're going into the season and I think this is the roster that we're going to have, as the season starts, unless something, unless something crazy happens, which we don't know. So as of right now, I'm expecting Jordan Hawkins to be on the team, when we start the season. And for him, like his career is kind of on the line right now. Like as of right now, he's projected to be around 7.4 million next year. Like the way these guards and shooters aren't really signing these big contracts right now, or really there isn't really money going around like that for his archetype of player. Jordan needs to have a really good season and put himself in a position to where, one, somebody wants to trade for him. That's first. Like, even if we are gonna, maybe make a move to bring in somebody else, Jordan Hawkins has to play well to raise his value to where teams want to trade for him. Two, when they do trade for him, wanting to keep him and give him an extension or at least pick up that option. So it's pivotal for Jordan to have a good season. So I'm gonna go ahead and show some of the film and all of the things that I just think Jordan needs to do to make himself a valuable player. So if you notice, Jordan, like, this was with BI on the floor and really nobody else. You're gonna get open looks. You have to knock down threes. Look at the shots coming off the screen. Look, catch, shoot. If Jordan can consistently do this, these are all the Jordan Hawkins threes from last year, by the way. So this is the film we're going through. And just look at the plays that Jordan Hawkins is making. Run out, wide open. Those are the ones you have to make. Wide open threes. Like, we can't afford you to be missing wide open threes. Some of the contested ones we understand, and we know you're not gonna make everything. Don't get me wrong. But when you get clean looks, you're supposed to be a sniper. You got to knock it down. You got to knock it down and be able to create some of that space. And look, Zion sees 4 in the paint. That's an easy pass, catch and shoot. That's all we need Jordan Hawkins to do. Come up, set a little screen. Look, on the kick out, that's wide open. Don't even think about it. More than anything, if Jordan can come off the bench and shoot the way he's supposed to shoot, he averaged 10 last year while being inconsistent. You can see him easily averaging, I'm gonna say, around 12, something like that, depending on, like the kinds of shots he's gonna be able to get each game. It's just wide open threes, man. It's wide open threes. And we've seen Hawk get hot and, go easily get 30, 20 something, 34, 35. No hesitation. He just has to make his shots. He has to make his shots. Because at the end of the day, like, there's too many playmakers on this team and too many shooters on this team. Like, people are not leaving Trey Murphy. They're not leaving Jordan Poole. Zion is, Zion's the most double player in the league. So that means if Jordan Hawkins is on the floor, like, bro, they gotta leave you. All you gotta do is knock down open jumpers. Off the screen. See that one? I don't like that necessarily. I don't like that one. Hold on, let me go back. Now, it was a tough shot that he made, but bro, run falling down, like, that's a tough three. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have to take those. You don't have to take those. These are the ones you need to take. Just like that. Wide open, one pass, kick, knockdown. If Jordan could shoot about 40, again, I'm going to keep 38 to 40%, bro. This is why you was drafted. You have some athleticism, so you're going to score because he runs a lot too. So he runs, he's going to get some layups, he's going to get some putbacks. He does some of the little things, He played for a championship organization at UConn that, Dan Hurley is one of the best college coaches. So I firmly believe that Hawk had some quality coaching to instill some of the essential fundamentals of playing the game the right way. So I think he has that, which I also think is part of the problem when you're playing for the Pelicans. Like, they don't play a fundamental style of basketball. You really got to be an ISO player to thrive on this team, which is part of the reason I think he struggled. But I think this season there are more playmakers and more people to take to give him some relief with having to handle the ball. Look, somebody's driving, kicking. That's a wide open corner three. Bro, those are the shots you're going to get all season for as long as you're here. Wide open. You just got to knock them down. You just got to knock them down. If you consider yourself a shooter and you can't go 4 for 10 on wide open shots, I don't think you're a shooter in the league. I'm sorry. And if that's why they drafted you, again, Jordan is still a lottery pick at the end of the day. So there is some upside in the talent is there. We just need him to be consistent and perform. Now, he was, again, like I said, when he started last year before the back was hurt, he was shooting the ball really well. We don't know where he stands from an injury perspective. A lot of people are saying that the back is a reoccurring problem and it might continue to be a problem. So I don't know how that's going to hinder him. But if that's something that he can manage, and at the end of the day, bro, your career is on the line. Like, you'll find yourself out the league. You'll find yourself out the league. All you have to do is this right here, bro. Look, come off the screen, catch, wide open, set. He's gonna live with those. If DeJounte's here when he comes back, you know what I mean? That's another person that will handle the ball and create. See, that's a tough shot too. Those are the shots. Like, even though he made it, go back a second. Even though he made it, I don't like that shot. Like, that's not a shot I want him taking, because I think that, not that one. That's great offense. Those tough, contested, falling down threes is like, now if it's a heat check, that's one thing. You know, you didn't hit 3-4 in a row, fire it up. I got you. But like, you man trailing, bro, that's insane. First off, the fact that he can make those, is pretty impressive. And we know he's kind of, look at, you got to respect Trey, that, bro. And if he can be that bench shooter along with Saddiq Bey, like if Saddiq Bey can regain form, and then you can get this from Jordan, and now you come off the bench with Jordan, Hawkins, and Saddiq Bey shooting, 30. I'm telling you, I think Hawk, for his career to survive, it needs to shoot close to 38 to 40% from three. I mean, you was drafted in the lottery, bro, specifically for your shooting. And I think he's capable. His shooting was inconsistent when he was at UConn, but he gets them up. He's not afraid to shoot them. You need the kinds of looks that he's going to get. You just got to hit open threes. Like, if you can just hit the wide open threes, you'll bring significant benefit for the team. Similar to players like Isaiah Joe for OKC. Isaiah Joe, when he comes into the game, bro, like, they don't run much for him. They just kind of spot him up in the corner. Shade, J-Dub, they draw the attention. They kick it to him, and he just knocks it down. It's bag breaking, and he's gonna get those shots. You look at Hawkins, and he's similar to a player like a Malik Beasley. You know what I mean? And Malik Beasley is a veteran in the league, been around for a while. It takes time for those players to develop that way. But again, Hawkins being a lottery pick, year 3, in a situation where realistically you won't have to do much but knock down shots. A lot of off-ball work, wide open looks, catch and shoot. Catch and shoot. That's all you have to do. Get out on the break. I hate how long they take to find players sometimes too, man. We do not pass the ball up the floor well at all. Like, our players be open too long. That's wide open. Set, cash. Set and cash. See, that's a tough one right there too. Like, he makes, but again, if he didn't hit, he's one of those. If he hit 3 or 4 and is rolling, he's feeling good. That's tough, bro. That's a tough 3. Cash though. Let me go back. Look at this. Off the screen, to the side, pull up, splash. Imagine if you could get the consistent shooting from Hawk with Trey and Poole and Sadiq Bey with how he's capable of shooting when he's going, the Pelicans got so much talent, man. So much talent. The only problem is you're just so unsure how they're going to perform. If you knew for sure that Hawkins was going to shoot the way he was supposed to, you feel a lot better about the second unit. Or if you knew that he was going to take the jump that that some players take in that third year. Look, get that bag wide open, reset quick, no hesitation. No hesitation. I'm just saying I could see the vision. And again, I could see the vision for how he can flourish in his role this season. And to be honest, it's going to be key to the Pelicans getting off to a good start. One, you don't know. We're assuming Trey is going to be healthy, from day one, but he hasn't been cleared for contact yet. So we don't know if Trey Murphy's going to be the, opening day. We don't know if Herb's going to be that opening day. So what does that mean? That means we're relying on a player like Jordan Hawkins to step in day one and be able to contribute. Like, this is exactly what we're going to need him to do. So this is just some of the catching and shooting. And Hawkins can do some other things. Again, he's pretty athletic. So I'm not going to show any of those because at the end of the day, I don't think that's where Hawkins is gonna make his, his stand in the league. Like that's not what he was paid for. That's not what he was drafted for. So I just don't think those things are, not that they're not important, because you need them to be successful. You need them to win games. Like, you need him to be a good defender. He can't be a cone out there. You need him to be able to, not be a liability handling the ball. But we also don't need Jordan Hawkins, creating offense or running the point. Like, that's not why you drafted this guy. So the other piece of film I want to show is some of Hawkins' off-ball movement shooting. And this is the other element of the game that he could bring that, again, I don't think we have. Maybe the only other player that's close to something like this is Jordan Poole. He can do some of this, but not necessarily the same way Hawkins can. So if we could just incorporate some of this, if he can do those two things, catch and shoot when he's spaced out. See that falling down to the side? I don't care for those. He made it, but see that catch off the move. Look, little fake screen. Look, go relocate, get open. Knockdown. This is when you bust up Dallas. Was feeling it, went for 30-something against them. Come off the screen, good play, good screen. Pass, come back off the screen, relocate, on time, knockdown. That's, again, if he can do this, that's an open look. You got to make him pay every time. Off the screen, relocate, wasn't open initially. Stop, catch, hit. Pass, relocate, catch, hit. Swing. That's a terrible pass. Don't worry about it. We still got it. Relocate, pump, hit. Bruh. Again, is this a lot to ask? I mean, you say you're a shooter, right? Step up and be the shooter we need. And we ain't asking you to be most improved, not asking you to be sixth man of the year, just asking you to live up to that 14th pick. You're going to get opportunities, especially early in the season. I think everybody's going to get opportunities early in the season to prove themselves and if they're going to be on this team. See, that's tough. I don't want him doing none of that either. A little ISO scoring. Unless somebody throws it to you with a couple seconds left, I don't want none of that. There you go. Look, and that, see, we can live with that. A little pump, 1-2 pull up. pump, 1-2, step in, knock down. See the catch, 1-2, relocate, knock down. Pump, 1-2, boom. Just make it easy. Make it easy. That's all you need to do, man. They're going to have enough creators on the team for him to be able to get these shots consistently. And Jordan had a lot of promise. And I think early in the season, you're looking at Jordan Hawkins being like, you know, in your top 8, the top 8 of the rotation. Bell BI out. Cash. And one. They ain't call it. Don't trip. Screen. Come off. Good screen. Contested. Still hit. Don't matter. I probably hit a few. Up. Great play. Love playing Dallas. Run that screen. Good screen. Knock down. See, that's what he does. We don't need him handling the ball, bro. Again, I think this is where, hate to beat the dead horse, but for Hawkins to secure his spot on his team, and I think if he can do this consistently, it's not to say that they won't trade him, but it'll make it a lot tougher. It'll make it a lot tougher if he can shoot the ball the way he's supposed to. See, that's a tough shot. Off the screen. And I don't think we have anybody else on the team that can do this. Master your craft, bro. You're a shooter. You're a sniper. Master your craft. Be the best shooter in the gym. You got some competition with shooting. You know, when he first got drafted, you remember Trey Murphy was kind of taking him under his wing. You seen Trey in one of their early interviews, one of their practice interviews, saying, you know, I think me and Hawk we could rival anybody in the league as far as our shooting. Don't make him out to be a liar. And if he can consistently do this, again, that's another weapon that you have that makes it easier for players like Zion, players like Poole, players like Trey. And he's just going to get like the looks that he's making some of these. He's making some of these, but these are some tough contested looks. And again, you're going to have to be able to make some of those. You're an NBA player. But with the team that we have, he shouldn't even have to take these. With the amount of offense we should be able to put out on the court. Look, come off. Good screen, JV. Cash. We got to become a better screening team. We got to be able to be a better screening team. Coach Sip emphasized the importance of the screening and how much it'll free up, you know, a lot of players on our team. I hope that's one of the things they work on, because it's going to be pivotal for everybody to be able to screen and help each other get open and just make the game easier and play the right way. See, that's a tough look. I don't like Jordan taking those. Again, he made it and you want him to somewhat be able, but that's what I like to see. Open, 1-2 pull-ups. You know, if you ain't getting all the way to the rack easily, don't trip, step back. You do that. Boom. Yeah, bro. So, in my opinion, I just think a lot of people are, you know, kind of discrediting Jordan Hawkins because he's been I don't want to say discredited. That's the right word. I'm going to say writing off the potential for Jordan Hawkins to be an impact player or have some impact on this team. Because he's been inconsistent and the shooting hasn't necessarily been what we thought it was going to be. And he has some other limitations in his game for sure. But going into year 3 with the kind of team that we have, if Jordan can shoot consistently 40% from 3, catch and shoot, some movement shooting, just Matter of fact, he needs to shoot roughly 40% from the field. You know, if and the reason I say 40% from the field, because that's not necessarily the greatest when you're shooting, you know, twos, because people want pretty much layups and threes. So you need to do better on your layups and finishing. But realistically, I think he's going to be spaced out so much to where most of his shots should be threes. Should be threes. Threes or dunks on the break, stuff, you know, layups on the break and stuff like that. So that's all we need from Hawk. Run. It's not their space. But there you go. He can do that. Catch. Look, easy. Make those. Catch, space, make those. Yeah. So that's I'm not gonna go too far. You done seen the film, man. Jordan as an off-ball shooter, movement shooter, catch and shoot can. I mean, would it surprise you if he did well and was one of the better shooters on this team? Like, that's what he's supposed to be. So it wouldn't be surprising if he took a step and was like one of the, you know, top 2 shooters on his team. Like, if he shot better than Trey Murphy from 3, like, yes, you would be surprised because Trey is an elite shooter and Trey is a better player. But Jordan Hawkins, like, should be that type of shooter. He should be equivalent to Trey Murphy as a shooter with what his reputation was coming out of college and realistically how they respect his shooting in the league. Like, if you watch, yes, he gets open looks because of the team, but most teams, when you watch them play, they try to run him off the three-point line. And maybe that's because, you know, they don't believe in the handle and the limitations with the dribbling. But with this particular team, if that's the case, you shouldn't even have to worry about getting ran off the three-point line with the amount of open looks I think you should get if you can knock down the open shots. So that's going to do it for me, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate everybody that's been supporting the page and supporting the channel. We got some more videos coming out this week. Not sure exactly which ones we gonna do next, but I like the idea of doing some more of these film reviews on some of our bench unit right now. We still got some of the starters to do, and at some point we're gonna get to doing the film on Zion because people be forgetting how dominant of a player he is. So that's coming up too. Be looking for, you know, a couple videos also about the schedule release. That should be coming up at some point. They done already put, you know, the opening day and the Christmas games. Just real quick, I ain't worried about none of those, bro, because the more we fly under the radar, I think the better, and the more we're counted out, I think the better for our team. So again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, like, share, subscribe to the channel. That's gonna do it for me. It's your boy A. Davis. I'm out. Peace.